Politicians should stop raising the minimum wage.
Usapang minimum
Governments
wage.
across the world like increasing the minimum wage. It wins votes, it fights inequality, and it requires little public spending. But after a decade of rises, more economists are warning about the nasty side effects of setting the minimum wage too high. Minimum wages became popular after a series of studies from the 1990s on struggled to find any negative impact on jobs. But today's skeptics argue that the costs of rising wages are delayed or hard to spot. The big danger is that governments have become overconfident about the minimum wage. For example, in 2015 and 2016, Seattle raised its minimum wage sharply. A study published in 2022 found that these increases led to a fall in workers' hours. And while most kept their jobs, the hiring of low-wage workers slowed noticeably. Big minimum wage increases seem to have other unintended consequences too. Economists have recently found evidence that they lead employers to make working hours less predictable and reduce investment. They've even been linked to a rise in workplace accidents. A Chinese study theorizes this is because employers push their staff harder when they have to pay them more. In other words, wages rise, but jobs get worse. If you have no minimum wage at all, setting a modest pay floor can actually create jobs by offsetting the bargaining power of big employers who would otherwise keep their hiring down to suppress pay. Governments, encouraged by this, might try to raise wages even more. But there's a limit. As workers become more expensive, employers have more incentive to cut jobs altogether. Minimum wages can be transformative. In Mexico, income poverty fell from 50 to 35% between 2018 and 2024 as its minimum wage shot up. That's a whopping 15.8 million people out of poverty. But raising the minimum wage is a clumsy and inefficient way to tackle low living standards. Many minimum wage workers live in middle or high-earning households. They might be their family's second earner, or a rich kid with a summer job. Higher wages also lead businesses to increase prices, which hits the poorest consumers hardest. There are better ways to help low earners. In-work tax credits can help the poor while distorting the economy less, especially if they're financed with carefully designed taxes, such as VAT. Ultimately, minimum wage increases may be popular with the public, but they're just a tool to count on as the government's main way of redistributing income. After years of incautious rises in the minimum wage, the responsible option is not to push them higher still, it's to stop.
Karamihan ng mga taong gustong magpataas ng minimum wage earners, usually sila yung hindi nakakaintindi ng basic economic principle or may hidden agenda sila behind sa pagpapataas ng minimum wage. Well, because unang-una, yung pagpapataas ng minimum wage, yan yung pinaka madaling intindihin ng simpleng Pilipino, masa, di ba? Kasi sa bilang ng functionally illiterate dito sa Pinas, hirap silang intindihin yung concept ng supply and demand, inflation, so on and so forth. Kaya doon na lang sila sa kaya nilang intindihin. And well, biruin mo, masarap pa sa pakiramdam. Tataas sweldo mo, wala kang ginagawa, walang kapalit. So, bakit nga naman hindi ka magsaside doon? Pero kasi, the downside of it is, there will come a time na babalikan kayo ng ganyang klaseng policies, which is maraming business yung magsasara, yung growth ng kumpanya hindi na masustain, and eventually magko-collapse yung economy. So, anong dapat natin gawin? Now, isa yon sa mga binanggit niya, yung pag-revise ng tax ng mga minimum wage earners, so on and so forth. But right now, sa train law kasi, na ano na siya, na accommodate na siya. 'Di ba? Parang last time I remember 20,000 pababa ata taxless na. So doon pa lang, that's more than enough as a support. Ngayon, kung dumagdag yung kita mo, I mean yung gastos mo dahil nagpamilya ka, so on and so forth, responsibilidad mo na pataasin yung kita mo by upskilling, or at least magkaroon ka ng ibang value para sa company para mabigyan ka ng karapat-dapat na sweldo. Pero, well, nabola sila ni Kamangogoyo Kaya ang ending, entitled Pilipino na lang sila sa sweldong hindi naman nila pinaghirapan. Gets? Well, this is Pinoy Extreme. Have a good day.